Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses on day 24, presented by Saratoga Springwater. Maggie Wolfendale, who's making me laugh over here, and I'm Andy Serling. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good?
I guess.
You're good. Yeah, we've had our usual daily spring shower.
Man, your text is loud.
Yeah, I know. I knew that would happen. I'd forget to put it. At least it's from the racing office, because you only get about 40 of them a day from them. All important information as well, at least for me. Maybe a little more important for you. Anyway, we had our brief shower. Seems to be done. Nothing major, but we're here. We're excited. Yesterday was a fun day, wasn't it?
It was. It was a really fun day to see Casa Creed come as a 7-year-old, and they just loved betting Annapolis. I mean, I get it. I get it that he had trouble going into the race, coming out of the Kelso. But Casa, he's just all racehorse, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I honestly thought, given the trip that he was getting, that he'd have no chance whatsoever in that race. And Annapolis had absolutely no excuse not to beat him yesterday and just came and got him. And I think a loss in the shuffle, and we're all so fond of Lee, and he becomes such a big part of the story, and rightfully so. We love Lee. But I think we've kind of lost sight of the fact that Bill Mott deserves a lot of credit here. I mean, and not just Bill, but everybody he works with.
Yeah.
This is a 7-year-old. I don't know that if I've ever seen a 7-year-old at this level that seems to be as good as he's ever been.
And getting better.
Arguably.
Because this was his 4th attempt, but yet his 2nd win in a row.
And this was a much better effort, I thought, than last year. Because he had a dream trip last year.
Yeah.
The filly had an against the track trip, and there was really nobody else. I thought this was a far more impressive effort.
I know. He was just out wide the entire way, kind of trying to stay with Annapolis, kind of not getting to run the race the way he wanted to, and still was able to outgame him to the wire.
No, I agree. I was watching it with Pat McKenna, our communications director, and I said to him, good luck to Casa Creed. When they were going halfway through, it just seemed like a trip that he wasn't going to be able to overcome, but he did. And he sat behind Lee, and it was a lot of jubilation and a lot of excitement. And it's just, it's all the things that are so great about racing and a horse like Casa Creed. And in winning the 4-star Dave is sort of kismet, right? It just seems like it's perfect.
Well, yeah, when you have the multiple. Right, exactly. When you have the multiple winners of a race named for a horse who loved coming up here and running and winning, and a horse like him getting the job done, it's just, the universe was right yesterday.
And then to make a perfect day, as I was leaving, I ran to Leo O'Brien, who trained 4-star Dave. And Leo's just a wonderful, wonderful man. It was so nice to see him with Leona, his daughter. Many of you know her as John Velasquez's wife. We know her as Leona.
Yes.
And she worked at Naira years and years ago, and so I've known her for years. But it was great to see Leo.
She has the best hair. I have total hair.
Any hair is the best hair in my life.
True.
But no, it was just great to see Leo, who's such a nice man, but also because he was a trainer of 4-star Dave, and there's just so many good stories tied to it, and it was just a really great way to wrap up a week and feeling like a week that we needed it, And
Norm Cassie's horse, Rhyme Schemes, how impressive was he again? Did we get a figure on that?
86 Beyer.
Okay, so step down a little bit, but still.
No, he's a terrific racehorse and just crushed that field, but also the Clement first-time starter, determinedly,
so much.
Kind of a great name for a horse, given what he did, right?
Yeah, and he was. I think he will improve so much from that effort too, because he was still a bit green, lugging in, didn't really know how to put it all together, and yet he still did.
And that was a race that was sort of dominated forward if you take him out of the equation. You got an 81 Beyer and 7 furlong first-time starting 2-year-olds.
Not easy.
Unless they're like rolling on the front end. They don't usually get those kind of big figures, and doing it with trouble. He's an extremely promising horse. And I thought that the Galway was a fun race as well.
I know.
A surprising winner, but a wide-open race and a good race.
Those turf sprints are. And we'll close things out in this card with a wide open one, too.
We will. The Mahoney, of course. Heard from Pat Mahoney this morning. So head over to Naira Bets before we get into today's action. If you're not a member, use the promo code SPA200. We'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have, of course, the middle pick 4, 2, 4, and 7 for the pick 4s, 10-race card today. We have a cross-country pick 5, I'm guessing, is next. Some races at Ellis, Monmouth, and here the Mahoney wrapping it up as well. We have the Glow Rollers contest. I just spent some quality time with Ray and Jay. It was, I don't know why I stopped by to see those guys. I don't even really like them, actually. $40 buy-in, $30 towards the bankroll, $10 towards the prize pool. They are great guys. Right outside the Miller Time 4-Star Dave Sports Bar, speaking of 4-Star Dave, Thursday through Sunday. Been very popular, and they're a lot of fun. $30 towards your live bankroll, but $10 towards the prize pool. Go over and check out the Glow Rollers contest, and if nothing else, make fun of Jay. We have the $1 million bonus. Got to play that late pick 5 through Naira Bets in the unlikely event, but it all could have happened here a couple weeks ago. You're the only winner. Make sure you play it through Naira Bets for an extra $1 million. We got the Taste of New York Pavilion. Maggie and I will be heading over there to tear our usual few drinks in before we go on the air. We are over 21, so we can do it. And if you are too, you can, near Gate A by the Berkshire Family Zone. We also have Family Fun Day. I know, are the Wolfendale Morley girls coming? I defer to you.
You know, you literally got my girls started with the Thomas Wolfendale.
Really? Oh, good. I'm glad to know I'm having a good influence on children. It's very comforting to hear, and what better children than yours? And if it's annoying your husband, what an even better thing for me, right?
He just rolls his eyes.
Tom's a great guy. He is. Berkshire Bank Family Sundays, 11 to 4, so come on over, something to enjoy as well. And, of course, the show will be on from 1 to 6:30 today on FS2. Are you on early or late?
Huh?
Are you on early or late?
I'm all day.
Really?
Acacia and I are like back and forth. So, yeah, you'll get a good mix of both of us.
Okay, well, that's fine with me. I'm happy to hear from either, both, or all, so that works for me. Race number 1, Maggie, I'm staying on the train, and it's not,
You're
oh my
so
God.
Loyal.
Well, my feeling with your horse, Magic 8 Ball, is you guys loved this horse first time out, loved him, and there was all these stories, and he broke a little slow, he took a lot of dirt, she did, excuse me, and just didn't deliver, and I'm going to give her one more chance at a better price in a field where nobody's jumping off the page at me.
But you said it yourself, that is not a good field she comes out of.
No, it's not, but I'm just going to hope that she just didn't run. You obviously lost a little confidence in her.
No, okay, so I'll be absolutely frank and candid in that she is a little, there is a ton of ability, and there's no denying that. There's an engine in there, and that's for sure. But she's a little bit of a project horse. And each race and each time she works, it's always kind of a learning adjustment. I will say this, she has done much better since coming up here. She goes and trains on Clare Court where it can be quiet. She's gonna wear a hood throughout the event today, where she just had it on in the paddock last time, and she'll wear it to run in. It's all about harnessing the speed and the exuberance that she has for running. So it's more about the learning experience, and not that, of course we'd love to win, but we're not exactly looking for the win. We just want a good experience for her this time.
Surely you want it to go better than it did last time. And it's not that anything terrible happened. It just wasn't a particularly good race. But I'm going to stick with her. You were going to go to the outside to Jose Cameo. Does it fit that I saw him last night as I was walking to dinner?
Ooh.
I think it's really got to be today, right?
I think it's only if you pick him, right?
I don't know.
And I picked her.
I don't know. The voodoo really eludes me.
I think comes out of a better race. We saw Honey Dijon come back and win. Lady Moscato ran well enough in her next effort. And then in going back, she kind of broke well going the 5.5, and she dropped back, kind of got a little green with the kickback. But then she wasn't really asked in the lane. She just kind of started cruising into the race, and Jose Ortiz was like, oh, wait a minute here, and asked her a bit, and she really kind of finished off and leveled off nicely. So I think with an extra furlong and a half, she should be very well capable of getting this, and one that I liked in the paddock first time out. And then you have a horse like Stella Maris, a New York bred that they're trying against Open Company, assuming that there were no 7/8 New York bred maiden special weights going.
Well, you're also getting a bonus.
Correct.
So it sort of means they're probably kind of optimistic, and I'm always looking at those Horacio de Paz horses. The one Exhilarate, I think, will improve with distance and some time. My problem is she comes out of a race that was a complete and total meltdown, and I think her performance is enhanced by that, and she still ran a 31 buyer. So I'm a little bit leery of her. I want her to be good because I love Delate.
Me too.
But I'm just a little bit leery right now. We'll see what happens.
I agree.
Race number 1. And race number 2, no, I was going to make fun of John O'Connor, but I'm going to let John, I'm going to let you off the hook here. Race number 2 on the turf. I've heard stories about Nikitas that the horse can run. So we'll take a look at the 2-year-old sales work, which I don't know, Maggie, I thought was pretty impressive.
Oh my gosh, yeah, 10 flat, asked a little bit, but really nice extension to her stride. Look how much ground she covers here. And while the biggest question mark is the pedigree. Yes, she is out of the factor mare, but nobody in the family liked the turf.
Well,
But
that's
she
Chad
moved
Brown's
like a turf
signature
horse.
move, right? Running
Yeah.
horses with no turf pedigree on the turf and winning. And it's funny, I was talking to Nick Tamara this morning, and I said that I heard the horse could run, and he said to me, well, that would be fitting because Chad only wins with horses with no turf pedigree.
Like,
he was
I'm very
sort
busy,
of
or-
kidding.
wait.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cloud computing. Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
last year.
Yeah, no,
And
I don't know.
watching that workout gives me confidence because to me, she moved like a turf horse. Now, he chose to not breeze her at any point, at least as a recorded workout on the turf. But she actually, three back, outbroke Ways and Means and really hung with her well throughout that work. And we saw what Ways and Means did here last week.
Yet he's running her on the turf, which
Yes.
makes it
Even
counterintuitive, I
more
guess. We'll see.
meaningful?
We'll see. I mean, I doubt he'd be running if he wasn't confident. I did his other horse, by the way, Latte Lizzie, is named for co-owner Tom Coleman's daughter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just let me know that. It's very nice. I hope when you name your horses after your children, they run well, Tom. Kind
It's
of
a
a lot
curse,
of pressure. It
at
really
least
is.
from my,
It's a horse named for me that didn't run very well here the other day. Sea Dancer, I agree with you, is a dangerous player.
She just, this is more of a kind of paddock, pick for me. And that I wrote first time out. Actually, first time out, the race was canceled. The card was canceled.
Oh, right.
And then she came back. I wasn't in the paddock that day on July 7th, but I wrote, having looked at her prior, that she wanted to go longer than this. Now, again, I'm a little dubious of that field, but it was almost as if Flavien Prat and Bill Morey were kind of like, let's just give her a learning experience, knowing that she'll want to go further than the 6 furlongs.
She was bet that day. I mean, she took a lot of
bet
money
both
that
times.
day. Yeah, and she ran into the Adam Rice horse, I think, that wired the field. I get
Yes.
those Rices confused. There's Adam and
There's
Kevin.
Adam and Kevin.
And I think
Adam's
there's a
had a
woman
bit
that
more
trains
success.
around here as well. What's it?
What's that?
There's Linda.
Oh, yeah.
She's
that's
the other
thing.
Rice. We'll call her
Adam's
the other
had
Rice.
a little bit more success when shipping in.
I thought Adam hadn't come that much. Who came here with that horse
Kevin
that Dub
came
bought?
2 times with
Who
2 horses.
Who had the good horse that
Adam.
Dub purchased? That
Adam.
was Adam? Last
I can
year?
look. Yeah, what was his name? Look, if I go down here, hold
I'm
on,
old.
hold on.
I
hold
can't
on,
remember
it's
these
here.
names like I used to.
Oxymore.
Oxymore. That horse run yet this year?
I can't remember.
I don't know. Has
Well, I'm
I
gonna
put Tom Amos's horse third? You have the fourth. She's got
I
some
agree.
pedigree.
She has some pedigree. Now, the dam was over 4 on the turf. She was actually better going long, but she's a 3/4 sister to Gretzky, the Great, who is a Grade 1 winner at 2 on the turf. Now, watching some of the breezes with this one, albeit on the dirt, last time she was outside of Icy Stare Down, she was well on the muscle the whole way and went and galloped out better than that older, experienced horse who's already a winner. And then if you go 4 back, the 47-3 on July 12th, she was inside of Allie's Beach, who was a first-time out winner for Tom as well, and was in hand throughout until the gallop out. And that usually suggests that it's more of a turf horse.
All right. Okay. And we both include Adam Rice as well, out of respect. I feel like it's on the inner turf that while the rail has been an advantage on the inner the last couple of days, nowhere near as dominant as last
couldn't
few
agree
years
more.
of horses. It
Isn't
just
that odd?
maybe the rain
Maybe the
mitigated a little
softer,
bit
yeah.
coming in. It just did. I mean, I think you look, you still
I agree with
wanted
you.
the saving ground was a good thing, but it wasn't the absolute we've
premium.
seen in other years.
Nope.
We'll see
Casa
what
Creed
happens.
proved that wrong.
Casa Creed, yeah, he did. No, he did, and he was also terrific. Race number 3 on the dirt. Some good, interesting dirt races on today's card. We'll take a look at Last Chance at Glory's last race, and obviously he's been sort of a remarkable horse. How do you feel about him cutting back? That's really the question.
I'm not in love with it, but I don't hate it, to be fair. It's just his better race. I feel like he's a total, and look, he won going a mile in the 16th, but he's just more of that one-turn mile type of runner. Then, he did come back and win, but he was entered and scratched about 3 times between Linda claiming him and him making it back to the races from February to June. He was complimented by Dust Devil coming up and winning here with an 87 buyer on opening weekend. But, you don't want to put too much into the voided claims. But because he was entered and scratched so many times prior, left a little bit of just a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have him somewhere in there. I'm trying to beat him in here. Where did you go?
I went with a little bit of a wild card in gemography. Maybe his best days are behind him. Maybe he'll need a start coming off the bench. But I thought it was, telling that Chris Englehart and his owners decided to enter him in for the waiver since he comes back here for the 32, which we last saw him. And when we last saw him back at Aqueduct, he was with the racetrack. It definitely was a bit of a gold rail day, but wired by Prisoner. And then two back with the really poor performance, he was totally against the racetrack. So I thought there were some excuses for a horse that I think could come in here fresh and could be effective and sit that right kind of stalking trip today.
Chris Englehart has decent numbers out of town off of 4 to 8 month layoffs and dirt sprints. But if you look at his numbers at NYRA, they're terrible. He's 2 for 39 at NYRA off a 120 to 240 day layoff. It's just some food for thought with a 52-cent ROI, and so it's 5%. And Chris is a trainer that can win and win a lot of races. He's having a very good year. So I wondered about that a little bit. Listen, I went to a horse you don't like either, so we've sort of put logicals behind them. But my feeling with Swiftsure, and I don't love Swiftsure here, this is a good race for Santana to send him. He's the fastest horse if he wants to be in front. Now, that may not help. That may not matter at the end of the day, but he is the fastest. And like you mentioned before with gemography, he chased a fast horse in Prisoner last time, and maybe he just needed that race off a layoff. And it's not like his form had gone that wrong before the layoff, so maybe he just needed that race off a layoff, and he can be in front today in a race where I, like you, was looking for an alternative to Last Chance at Glory. No Nifty for you, a horse that chased wide, arguably against some better horses last time, on a day the rail might have been a little bit of an advantage?
Look, yes, I saw it, but he never picked up at all. You know what I mean? He just never showed any want in there. And I get it.
And the barn's a little chilly.
That was going to be my next statement.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, you don't expect to see Diodoro in this kind of run. You have Senior Jobin in there.
I was a little interested in Senor Jobim. He's a 9-year-old. His better days could possibly be behind him. They protected him last time. Now they raise him up.
That means he ran with the waiver, so people know you couldn't claim him last time, the waiver.
Correct.
Sorry.
And St. Selby was able to wire the field that day. But what I liked about him last time is that he actually broke, which I thought was a good sign coming in off of the layoff. Because in his 2 starts prior, one in California, one at Aqueduct, he just didn't break. He just didn't come out of the gate. He reared up that one time at Santa Anita. And I thought maybe they've kind of, figured some things out with him, and he has that one race to set him up here. I just, he's an old class horse. He's got some go-back races to go on.
I got a goofier Jacobson opinion later in the card, and I seem to never guess David right. So
it's kind of
if I don't like him, he's probably better.
Because, I don't necessarily trust Last Chance at Glory.
If you don't trust Last Chance at Glory, it's open to a lot of interpretations.
Right.
Hopefully one of them will be right. We'll see what happens in race number 3. The 4th race at 5.5 on the turf. We were going to have a fun argument about Alexis Zorba, but that's not going to take place with him scratched. And we both have the 2 Cigarette Boat on top. And I got to think that we agree, Maggie, as we showed the replay last time. This race was completely falling apart, yet this horse almost won on the front end.
Yeah, and so often, if you can suss out the clear speed in a race, in these turf sprints, then more often than not, they will win. I don't know who else necessarily goes with him.
It was just fast.
I mean, maybe American Know-How being more drawn further in this time can be a little bit quicker. Look, I think this guy is clear and gone today.
I agree. I thought he ran terrific last time. I mean, this race just came apart in the late stages, and I don't mind scratching into him. What do you think of Gold Frank? He's a horse that I made a nice bet on last time, and he ran behind Northern Invader. Now, I know Northern Invader, he didn't run at all yesterday.
He was terrible yesterday.
Yeah. But he was so good in this race and looked so terrific. And it's not that he ran well, but I thought he could be a little interesting, even though Kenny McPeak has terrible numbers turning back on the turf.
And furthermore, I didn't see anything necessarily in his longer races that suggested that turning back would be better. It's not like, he was a horse that looked as though he just kind of stayed on. I know he wasn't really finishing in a lot of those, but I didn't see anything that suggested that shorter would be better with him. So I know I have him in 4th there. I don't mind my husband's horse in here at all. American Know-How.
What's not to like? Horse ran well last time.
He was wide. The widest trip of anyone throughout there. First one to make the move into that pace that, as you said, kind of came back a bit. So I opted to take the horses that have shown that they're turf sprinters as my top 3.
Well, you know, Cumberland's a funny horse because they entered in some shorter races, and I know he was second to Kalik down in Florida, who ended up winning a stake. And this is Cumberland's race behind Kalik, where he probably would have been disqualified if he had won. But obviously he bombed against a very good horse last time out. I have a feeling this horse is going to run well shorter. I think George may have wanted to run this horse shorter. And the way that barn is going right now, particularly obviously with the 2-year-olds in these turf sprints, I'm not going to be surprised when any of their horses win.
Absolutely. I just didn't like it must have not been that big of an issue because then he came back to work 3 weeks later after being vanned off after that last effort. But with a little bit of give that we have in the course, I'm wondering if he's not going to appreciate that. Okay. He's kind of a bigger, heavier type of horse, and considering that he ran well at Gulfstream,
okay,
it's not
that makes sense.
Horse. Yeah.
All right, Mac, thanks. Race number 5. I'm looking forward to race number 5 because I've been waiting for activist investing to come back, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But I don't think there's any argument here that the number 4, Operation Torch, is the horse to beat. He lost to a terrific horse. And more importantly, I think, Maggie, in this race, he showed he didn't get ranked the way he did the race before.
I have not been in the paddock, and I've not, watched this horse in warm-ups or anything like that. I don't know where I've been. Who knows? But it seemed like something really set him off back on May 7th. He was really washy going into the gate as well, and then we saw him just acting up really badly. And I thought, Junior Alvarado got along with him very well. He sticks. He probably now knows him a bit more. And like you said, Program Trading is such a nice horse, coming back and winning the Saratoga Derby up here last week with that 95 buyer. And I think if this horse keeps it all together this time, like he did last time, he'll be so tough.
No, I'm not going to argue that, and I'm just sort of married to especially my picks. The 3 would be my 4th choice in this race. No argument whatsoever. He ran terrifically in there, and I had to break some bad news to somebody from Australia. Program Trading won't be going to Cox Plate. I know you expected him. Well, he's a win and you're in with the Saratoga Derby.
You
didn't
serious?
know that? Yes, it's a win in your but he won't be going. There is a $4 billion race on the moon, though, that they're contemplating going to on Lunar Downs.
Yeah, we'll see if Elon Musk can make a horse
There you
trailer.
go, exactly. There, and what better way for
rocket?
I could really make some jokes there. We'll show Clever Thought first before going to activist investing. Well, I want to show this video because I just love showing videos on horses I bet that are best at 8-1 and lose by a nose. If he hadn't gotten sort of steadied behind horses around the half-mile pole, I think that might have made the nose difference. I'll tell you something, Ruben Silvera, by the way, gave this horse a terrific ride last time under the circumstances with the outside post and what he did, kind of ride he gave him. And this guy really took off.
He did. It took him a while to switch leads there. But to me, Andy, he there he finally goes and he levels off here a bit. I don't like the lack of pace. He just has no early speed whatsoever. And look, these horses get up and win, but they're not horses that I like to, bank on per se.
Right, but he's okay, this horse.
He is okay, absolutely.
As far as activist investing, this horse, his maiden win, he was supposed to be good, and I thought his first 2 races up here were incredibly mediocre.
Yeah.
Really thought he was destined to be, he's supposed to be good, but basically he sucks.
He needs
and
the
then
blinkers.
This race, and this was a no-pace race where the inside was an advantage. He was wide every step of the way, and he just kept grinding and grinding and grinding with the blinkers and getting it done. And I remember, go ahead.
Sorry, I just was going to say, he did not make Flavien Prat's job easy, though.
But, I mean, he got this done he had good trips in his first 2 races and didn't win. He didn't have a perfect trip, but he had reasonable trips in his races. And he did have some early trouble, I say, first time out, but he had no excuse second time out. And this race, the light bulb, and I'd been saying to Seth Carbon that I thought that this was a really impressive race, and Chad had told me he was going to put him away for the winter, so it was no surprise he put him away, and they've been trying to get him in, right? They entered him a while ago against older horses, and the race got rained off. They even were entering in a stake at Monmouth. they might have had a minor, like a fever or something, and missed it. He scratched. They ran her in the Manila. They scratched. It was just too tough.
Okay.
So they're finally getting him into a race. And I know he had been doing really well. And Chad, I'd said, Chad, when he was in, I said, I'm really excited to see after investing. And he said he's just even better this year. He's got his hands full with this field, but I'm going to bet him.
Yeah.
And I'm just a fan.
He's going to be a short price, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to bet him.
Where's Flavien Prat today?
He's not at my place. I know that. It's like the Cheers thing. 3 people have never been in my kitchen. But I have no idea. If I'm not seeing him in the area, where is Flavien Prat? Flavien, where are you?
Where in the world?
Give me a call.
Flavien Prat.
His agent could give me a text. Let me know.
Yeah, Prat could give us a text.
He's getting ready for the big race. He's getting ready for the big harness race next Saturday.
Oh, yeah, he's over there.
Yeah.
He's actually driving the car tonight.
Yeah. Oh, he's driving the car next Saturday, right?
No, I'm saying in preparation. He's driving the car.
He's over there at the training track at Saratoga Harness?
Yeah.
That is going to be a fun event, by the way, a nice charity event next Saturday night.
What's that?
He'll be running in the Clarivate silks, as a matter of fact.
Exactly, and thank you to him and Seth as well for helping the Belmont Child Care Association.
Does your husband wear the tie?
Oh, no. You're going really insider information here. Yes, he does.
I want to know next time he's wearing it. All right. Wait, my friend of mine's checking it. He may be telling me where Flavien is.
Yeah, please.
He's at Del Mar.
He's at Del Mar, okay.
Greg, that's that way. Greg and I had a directional argument the other night. Anyway, we'll wrap this up. We'll be back for the late pick 5 after a quick break.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
So race number 6 is a bring back, I believe, of the canceled race when we had the blackout. So many fun things this summer in Saratoga. Instead of handing up the race, I'm going to show you the text that I received from Kirk Wyckoff and his son Jordan complaining when the race got canceled. While we were in the middle of.
How often do Kirk and Jordan text you?
Not that often.
Oh, okay.
No, not that often. I see them a lot because I see them sitting up there. They're wonderful people. I'm a big fan, but I was a little annoyed with them at that. After we had a blackout, it just feels like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. I wasn't overly concerned with this. So guys, they're running the race today, and she's in, and I wish you luck. The way they were so excited, she must be good. You've got her 3rd, I got her 4th. I don't know. I've never seen so much excitement.
No. Okay. So like you said, though, we canceled. So I got a chance to look at all these horses.
Oh, right. There you go.
She's gorgeous, elusive fashion. And I talked about her in the paddock. I said, and 2, you're not going to see money coming in, especially for Carrie Brienne with a dirt sprinting filly that's been training at Fair Hill. That just doesn't equal getting bet. But she's very good looking. She might want to go a little bit further than this, but I really liked what I saw from her.
All right. I think Carrie Bryan's a terrific trainer and just, probably doesn't get a lot of opportunities with dirt sprinters starting out their careers. The number 2, Zadorsky, her first race would make her tough. She regressed second time, and I feel like a lot of fillies, 2-year-olds, run really well first time, and often it's a big test for them. Some come back and run really well, but some often come back and don't run as well, and I think the Schuylerville of the Adirondack is a great example. Gary Contessa caught a field that was stepping going backwards, and then she went backwards in the Adirondack in her next start. Not the winner of that race, though. She's sensational.
She's awesome, right, Work?
She's really good. And I wonder if she took that step back, and I think she's the horse to beat in here, Maggie. I mean, but I don't know about the firsters, obviously.
Andy, I didn't like her in the paddock at all last time.
What if she's better today?
No, it wasn't necessarily a behavioral thing, although she was a little bit nervous. She just doesn't look like a filly that's going to go on, like you were alluding to with the first to second start.
Did you ever see Blind Luck?
Yeah. Oh, she was scrappy. She was weedy. She was scrappy.
She was not the best-looking horse, but she was one of the great racehorses. I loved her. I saw her PPs. There's a horse. She's the second dam of a horse in Thursday, and I came across her PPs looking up last night.
And it was just so funny, like
her.
her and Haverty Grace running together, and Haverty Grace is big, beautiful filly, and
fronty thing. I remember the first time she was in the paddock. I was with Jason Blewett, and he pointed her out to me. He said, "There's blind luck over there," and I went, "Really?"
No way.
And even I knew, looking at her, and I don't know anything. I went, "Really?" And I think when she won the Alabama was Joel Rosario's first ride here.
It was.
Yeah, I assumed it was.
Right.
Anyway, we digress. So anyway, you've taken Echo Lake. Is this based on stuff you saw in the paddock or other things as well?
Yes, loved her in the paddock. Loved her workout from the Fasig-Tipton Timonium sale. She was not asked at all. She worked 10-2, which is decent. It's not, 10-1's really good at Timonium. 10-2 is solid as they come, and she just has really swift action. I like the way that she's worked coming in here. There's not much pedigree to go on, hence why they only paid 40 grand for her. But I liked her in the paddock. I liked what I saw from that workout too.
Well, they couldn't have paid much more than $40,000 for her and been able to get into this race.
Correct.
I picked the one, Crazy Cammy, and I'm assuming you sort of saw the same things I did. I'm not going to show the replay, but I thought that Crazy Cammy actually ran like a horse that was figuring it out as the race was going on. And just seemed like the kind of second-time starter. I know that Castillo was named first time, but that was probably because he's probably riding at Ellis, I'm assuming, and that was a Wednesday race, so now he's at Ellis, and Tyler Gaffalione is having a sensational meet. Tyler's killing it out there. He's doing great.
It's good to see.
No, it's great. It was a terrific rider. It's not surprising.
Yeah, and she just ran in spots, and the blinkers going on. You would have to assume that that last breeze came with the blinkers on as well, going the minute.
And she has a nice work since the race. See what happens, was we will hopefully not have another blackout. If we do, we do. Anyway, I'm not going in there. Anyway.
Please do.
So, race number 7. I feel like I should have put Vittorio lower. I feel like I know he made the first move, and the race sort of came apart a little bit. But don't you feel like this horse is, we can take a look at the last race he ran, it's just becoming a bit of a money burner?
Oh, yeah.
And you look at business model all the way back in the rail, and this is my goofy David Jacobson opinion of the meet so far. I'm not sure the rail was bad, but I'm not sure it was a place you wanted to be. And he just stayed down there the whole time trying to rally. And I didn't think he ran really that badly. He's got some good figs. I thought this race, I don't love Looms Boldly on the front end, so at some point I think there could be a little bit of movement up front. And I'm going to take a shot he beats the field because I did not want to pick Vittorio, who I just don't trust.
I'm mad. I should have.
Little interesting, maybe.
Business model. Yeah, I know. I probably should have included him a bit, but
you're just mad that Brennan doesn't trade him anymore. That's what it is. So Eddie Keneally won a race yesterday, by the week, and Brennan's been having a terrific meet, and Tom won the stake with Granny because Eddie came by, and he must have been jealous that all the guys that worked for him were winning. So he won the stake yesterday.
He's the new Dwayne Lucas. Watch out.
Yeah. Very quietly, the new Wayne Lucas. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Guntown. I think
show the race.
I mean, wasn't he against the track last time?
It's funny. We'll show the race. He spent a lot of time inside.
He did. Most of the race.
And then he angled out in the stretch. Some are going to argue, right, was the rail bad on the stretch and not in other parts?
No, I think it was bad this day.
I should have gone 8-2-1 here. I have a goofy idea on the 8, and he's going to be a price, so I picked him.
I feel you.
I think this is the logical horse in this race, especially if you're trying to beat Vittorio.
Exactly. And look, he was able, I know Mystic Knight was a price, but Mystic Knight was with the track, and he still outfinished him to the wire here. So I'm going to take Guntown. Now he's second off. He's pairing these races back to back, and we'll see if he can pair up the races. But I've just always liked him as well, and he's been one that I think they thought a lot of. He just hasn't kind of seen it out, and maybe with the new scenery with Linda Rice, he is reaching that potential.
She did really well with Gunnet, that she claimed from Steve Asp. She actually won a race with him, which is nothing short of a miracle.
I will not win a race. And now he actually puts his head down and goes on with it a bit.
What do you do with St. Tappet? I have him fourth, you have him third, because when he left town, he couldn't get out of his own way. I know there were muddy tracks, but he broke his maiden on a good sealed track, so...
unless they were just so completely different, wet track here, wet track at Aqueduct, muddy, wetter, good, I don't know. But he did not look good in the paddock for those two races. Now, I mean, I'm excited to see what he does look like when he shows up in the paddock, though I think Acacia's doing this race. But watching his workouts, and he's worked with Witt and Dreamlike, who we'll see in the next race, and he's worked well, and it looks as though he's put on weight. That was my thing, is that he looks small, and he wasn't carrying his conditioning that well. So maybe he just needed to go away for a bit, because obviously his first 2 races make him a winner here.
Oh, this guy had an
turning back.
enormous amount of potential. And it
Obviously,
just
we're talking about having Grace, and this is her baby.
completely, right, completely the wrong way. I mean, I hope he runs well. So you said he worked with Witt, huh? Because Witt hasn't, I don't think he's run yet this year, has he?
And he went to the turf last
Yeah,
year, too. So.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah, hopefully he's getting ready to come back. I don't
All
know.
right, see what happens in race number 7. Race number 8 is an excellent non-winners of 1 or non-winners of 2 lifetime race. So let's start with Dreamlike. And you and I obviously have the exact same picks. Dreamlike's good. And Moore's Law improved 4 buyer points, ran very well to do it as the track was a little kind to front runners, and he made that big run. This guy's pretty good, and he doesn't need the lead. He's one horse that's well posted, and he's not going to be a victim. He has the speed to be close, but he doesn't need to be in front.
I just got now he won with the utmost ease here, but he is being asked, to be fair, and he kind of slid back down as far as numbers, but it was his first start in several months, so there's every reason he could step back up and run faster again. I respect him here. I really don't have any reason not to like him. I just thought that with the connections, with what he did here last time, that he was going to be a short price, and I think both you and I saw with Tappet Shoes that, I mean, what chance did he have going 47 to the half in the Belmont Stakes?
Of annoying my friend David Aragono, who I'm having dinner with this evening. David, if you think Tappet Shoes is going to be 6-1, I tell you what, if he's 6-1 and he wins, I'll pay at least for your dinner. It's other people. I'm not committing to the rest of them. But his Bathhouse Row was a tremendous performance, I thought. I mean, he's the one that really did so much dirty work.
All the dirty work, and then we see, Red Route 1 just got the setup that he wants to have. And it's not like Red Route 1, although he is that plodding kind of closer. It's not like he's a bum.
He won the Mountaineer race, the West Virginia Derby,
West Virginia Derby. So, right.
Setting him up perfectly for the Oklahoma Derby and
all the
maybe
Midwest.
the St. Louis Derbies and all those special derbies.
They've already run the Iowa Derby, haven't they?
Iowa Derby's already been run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before the meet. Maggie, you missed it. You were probably sleeping or something during it. Probably were. It was right at night, I think.
I was going to say I was asleep.
I was not, but I still didn't watch it. I'm a fan of this horse. I know it didn't go well in the Belmont, but I'm not going to make a big deal about that.
No.
I thought his race 2 back was very good.
Really
what about
good.
Magic Tap, though? His horse is no bum.
No.
Thought the race was very good last time.
Do you think that I mean, look, Sakil scratched, which helps a little bit, but don't you think there's several horses that could go here?
Well, Film Star has to go, and he has to go.
Right.
Now, they're helped by the fact that Cyber Ninja and He's Got Swagger don't have speed.
Yeah.
So in this case, now with posts 4 and 6, they won't be as hurt. Now, it's up to Irad on Dreamlike. Irad's supposed to go enough to make them have to go a little bit and then tuck behind them. But I think you'll see Film Star, who, by the way, he's no slouch either. I don't love him trying to finish at 1 1/8, but I don't think you can knock his recent form. And the thing is, Magic Tap has to deal with him and then hold off, whether it's Dreamlike or Tappet Shoes or even Whittingham Park. Now, I don't love Whittington Park at 1 1/8. I would have liked him at a mile, and I wonder.
He needs that fast pace to close into.
I wondered if after American Revolution got upset, if they were a little annoyed they didn't run in that race.
Yeah,
I think he'd been better at a mile.
I mean, it's interesting. I wonder how this affects, kind of going forward. It's great incentive for these New York breds to run here, but they are running for a bit more money than the New York bred stakes. So I kind of get why they scratched and opted to run here. I just think Jeremiah has him in great form right now. It's reflective of the way he looks, the way he's running, and if there is some hitting up front, he's going to be the one that capitalizes.
The problem is, and I agree with all of that, beating Wild Banker by a head at 1 1/8 doesn't give me the confidence that he could beat this field. But if they're really moving up front, the problem is moving up front. Dreamlike may have a real edge on him as well.
Totally, yeah.
See what happens. An excellent race, and race number 9, also on the dirt at 7 furlongs.
This card's great.
No, it really is. The dirt races are really unusually strong.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it good. And, there's that sort of chicken and the egg argument. Are there no dirt horses because all we do is run turf races? It's kind of, are there no dirt horses because we've created all these opportunities for turf horses. And sometimes you wonder, and you think of a Sheriff Bianco, and you think of those horses that are running on the turf. As it turns out, they meant to be running on the dirt all the time. So I guess HP Moon in some ways is the horse to beat, but I don't trust this horse getting 7 because he moved like a winner last time out, and he did not finish against Secret Rules, albeit a good horse in Secret Rules.
And now he's away? I mean, if this horse was doing well off of that effort, off of Linda trying to ensure that she won her 4th meet title in a row at Belmont, this horse would have run again at Belmont. And it looks like he's working fine, but I agree with you, Andy. I didn't trust him. I didn't love him in the paddock that day either. But
well, that's probably it might be a good thing because you didn't love him in the paddock and he still ran reasonably well.
True.
So, I mean, listen, I don't think he's impossible in here. I wanted to go in a slightly different direction. Where did you go in here?
I went with you. I jumped on your bandwagon.
Well, you know I like this horse. I know. I think he ran well last time. I just think it was a very, very, very tough spot.
It was a tough spot. And I looked up Joe Sharp taking blinkers off on the dirt. He's 18 for 66 with a positive ROI.
I had 18 for 67, but I'm not going to quibble over a star with a $3.10 ROI. Yours would be a little higher because you have 66.
Correct.
No, and very, very good. And overall, even blinkers off, he's 275 ROI, but he's very good on dirt doing it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you, and I think he's a horse that's getting sort of subtle class relief in here.
I agree.
What do you think of the 4? You didn't have many where Sagamore Mischief. I thought he's a horse that was running some fast race for Tim Hills, and maybe he just needed a race last time. He got involved in the pace.
Right, and that pace did come a part of it.
Right.
Dot Stoller sat the perfect trip, kind of like 5 lengths off of it. Milton the Monster came from out of the clouds. So, yeah, I looked at him, but I just thought overall there were some better horses in here, but to give him credit, he is pretty consistent, at least when he was doing his best running last year.
Well, Tom Amos better get He's My Honey Badger to run well because he certainly didn't run well off the claim from Joe Sharp. What happened last time?
I just think Chasing Time, and I think those are good horses too.
He was also wide. The rail has been good. I was talking to Andy Beyer today, and he said that he doesn't think it's Ellis as much a speed track as a gold rail.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue that because he was 4 to 5 wide the entire way around there and pressing the pace. Where Chasing Time just dropped back, dropped over to the rail, and when asked upon, that pace was ready for the taking, and he capitalized on it. So I'll give He's My Honey Badger another shot here. Did you look up Tom's stats? Second off the claim in dirt sprints. He's 20 for 68. Not a great ROI, but still.
No.
You don't want to give Tom any credit. No, I'm kidding.
Well, if it is a negative ROI, I want you to give me the stats so I can bring it up on the show today.
It's a 151 ROI.
Okay. Well, that's because his horses get bet a lot.
They do.
How many of them ran at Delta? Tom.
That I did not look up.
Anyway, moving on to the 10th and final race today, the Pat Mahoney, named for the entire Mahoney family. And for those that aren't familiar with it, they are really the grandfather, father, and son of parimutuel racing, parimutuel betting in this country, going back a long, long way. And we had the pleasure of working with Pat for many, many years here at NYRA before he retired about 3 or 4 years ago. And Pat and I were great friends, and I really enjoyed spending time with Pat. His office was right by ours at Aqueduct, and few people know as much about parimutuel wagering, if any people, than them, and Pat will be here today. So let's, and by the way, it came up one heck of a race, didn't it?
It did. I mean, we saw all the players that were entered in the, oh my God, Troy? No.
Troy was for older horses. The quick call.
Quick call, yeah, sorry, geez.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Eyewitness. And I was originally going to pick him, but you go ahead. You left him on top. I thought he ran super in here.
This is an extraordinary good performance, in my opinion. It was a quick pace given the course condition, and he was the first one to make the move into it and lasted. And I thought was just so determined. And when you have a horse that knows nothing but to win, and I feel like this guy does. He's game, and 2, obviously he proved he can handle a course that has some give in it, and hopefully these random rain showers stay away for the rest of the day.
They're done. There's no more rain for 15, 16 racing days in Saratoga after today.
Please, Mother Nature, have mercy on us.
I know. I almost cried when it started raining earlier. I do too. But as we show Nonay Hudson, the other Wesley Ward horse in this race, and he ran very well in this race, in a race that mostly sort of held together, and he made a big run to win the race, he's working better than Eyewitness. The workout reports on him are significantly better than the workout reports on Eyewitness.
Okay.
And that's why I made the change.
Yeah.
Because I was going to pick Eyewitness. I really was, especially given this horse was off the layoff. And the workout reports were not great on Love Reigns, who ran yesterday and didn't run well. And this one is actually working well. And that's, I agree with you on handicapping the race. I prefer Eyewitness. I really did. But the workout swayed me. So that's really the reason I made the change.
Okay.
And you know.
I'm probably going to eat my hat on this one.
So you have Gaslight Dancer from that race, who I don't think ran badly. But do you have something you don't like about Nonay Hudson? Other than,
look.
It's fine.
You know,
it's fine. I'm not.
The fifth pick. I don't. And that's,
forget about the workouts.
That's
It is handicapping.
No, that
I'm
is
not
poignant. It just, and look, maybe he needed that first race back coming back in the Palisades at Keeneland. But two, the fact that he just didn't look as good running over a course that had given it pushed me over to Eyewitness. But again, as you said,
he might be better closing this horse. He might be just a better horse sitting behind horses and making a run.
Yep.
You know, that may be what they found out. Now, I think the conversation in this race has to be very much involving dirt horses. And there's two good ones in this race. And we'll start with Uncashed. And I think his quick call is a little bit enhanced. There's an argument as this day wore on with the rain, because the rain came midday to late. They actually allowed us to run a few races earlier without rain. I thought the inside was good, but this horse is good, and I think it's interesting that Larry Ravelli is running him here, but Maggie doesn't have any turf pedigree, and he's running against a pretty salty group, or any substantial turf pedigree.
Yeah,
so
I mean, there's some in the second
Dam, a little bit.
generation. The Dam Hafto Graded Stakes winner, Lamani, and Graded Stakes place, Dr. Large.
Does he have to improve to win this race? Does he have to be a better turf horse than dirt horse to win it?
No, he just has to run the same races, I think.
Okay.
And the fact that he ran, arguably, and yes, the track may have been biased to him, but taking it point blank as a sealed surface, the fact that he ran his best race on it usually translates to the turf. So I'm scared of this horse. And
I'm scared of him too, but I'm just not going to bet him.
Sometimes that fast, that speed, as we all know, doesn't translate from dirt to turf. You have to be a bit quicker, but
if he's a turf horse, though, it should transfer.
Quick.
If it's a turf horse, it should transfer.
Yeah.
And my feeling is, though, he's going to get bet off dirt races. He's got IRAD riding him. So from a gambling standpoint, I have to let a horse like this beat me.
Right.
And I'm not, and he may.
Yeah.
Because he's good. And listen, how about Drew's Gold? Drew's Gold actually has much more turf pedigree. I mean, he's a half-to-a turf winner. The Dam was a good turf horse. She was good in the dirt, too. But she ran pretty well on the turf. So, I mean...
She's multiple stakes winner on the turf.
What's that?
She's won stakes on the turf.
Right. She was faster on dirt, though. She had a 96 by her on dirt and 86 on turf. But still, she was good on both.
And he's half-to-a stakes winner on the turf as well.
And he's
went 4 for 22.
really good, this horse.
No, he is. And, like, I mean, it was interesting reading Jimmy Chapman's quotes in the stakes advance on our website that he, felt as though Drew's Gold kind of got his heart ripped out last time by New York Thunder. And also true. And he said, I don't want that to happen twice in a row. And so I feel like I have a better chance running here. So he must feel as though he can handle the turf. I don't know. I'm just watching the way he moves. I'm not sold on it. And two, he's going to have to do it from the outside. But look, both of these horses are better horses than any of the turf ones. It's just, will they translate? And I thought they had enough pedigree to say that they may.
What about my idiotic second horse in here, Close the Game Sugar? I'm always giving these Adam Rice horses, or Kevin Rice, they ship down from Presque Isle. This horse did beat Web Slinger. Now, Web Slinger should have won. And I'm not just saying that because I bet him, but he should have won that day. But Web Slinger is one of the best 3-year-olds in the country. And I know it's going longer. But, we've seen so many of these 2-year-old turf figures that come in are in the 60s to 70s that are 15 points lower than the horse are running when they come back as 3-year-olds. And he improved dramatically on synthetic last time out from a figure standpoint. Time for him had him very fast. I just thought he was kind of a real weirdo at a big price that I wanted to throw in my exactas somewhere.
Yeah.
Am I totally crazy with this horse?
No, he is more of a turf horse.
Yeah, I mean, his first race... They're going to look at him as slow off his first race, and I don't really care what fig he ran.
If he brews 10, then only gives him like a 79.
He could be in the mix somewhere behind the others, depending. And, what if neither the 4 and 10 are turf horses?
You can make a lot of cases for a lot of horses in here.
Well, look at yesterday's race. And Sarah and I talked about it in the show. And we said the 1 was hard to make, but there wasn't another. The winner, I didn't like the winner.
But
I'm far from shocked she won the race.
Yeah.
No, I actually like Steve's horse that ran second a little bit because I thought she might get loose in there.
Yeah.
And she ran a terrific race. But
Yeah.
no, there was nobody in there that didn't have the credentials to be competitive. And this is a super fun race. We were so sad when the quick call came off because it was such a promising race.
Yeah.
Well, at least now we've got the Mahoney, and it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could even make a little bit of a case for my husband's horse, Son of a Birch.
Go for it.
You really want me to?
Maggie, I want you to do whatever you'd like to do.
All right, first time out, beaten by Oxymore, very nice horse, didn't have a clue
There
what
he
he was
is,
doing.
right.
And then the
Oxymore.
second time comes up here, he runs off. Okay, then he needs time. He comes back, he wins an off the turf race. Then last time he's involved in that insane pace.
Which is
going
accurate, by the
7.
way, people are wondering.
And he, honestly, of the 3 up front, finished better, I know, beaten 14 and a half lengths than any of them. And he is the most
The finish
unlucky
doesn't
horse.
matter. And
he
it was
is
7.
the most unlucky horse in our barn. I mean, Tom had him in a good spot, and then he came up with a fever. So,
No,
look,
that's fair. That's all fair.
So
He has a plethora of excuses, and
Yeah.
they're legit excuses. All right. Thanks. Fun as always, Maggie.
yeah.
Looking forward to you being interspersed throughout the day. I will be on from about the last
get to
2
do it
hours.
early?
No, I'm on late.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
okay.
you're going to be here all day with me, too.
I'm happy to be here all day with you.
Yeah.
I'll come visit you.
Okay, great.
I will, for sure. I will. We usually try to cross paths somewhere during the day. We'll see you guys as well. We'll see you at Naira Bets. Head on over to nairabets.com. Use the promo code SPA200. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have the middle pick 4, races 2, 4, and 7 on the pick 4s. We have the cross-country pick 5. Ellis, Monmouth, Ellis, Saratoga, all good. Okay. I wish we could show this photo on the air. I'm going to show it to you, Maggie. Jay put up 2 tip cups. He's begging for dinner. Don't tip him, by the way. He didn't even pay for dinner the other night. So he put a tip.
Hey, Andy, you got $2.
So he's put a tip cup with my name and Maggie's name on it. And shockingly, Maggie's is stuffed full of cash. And mine has, do you think it's 2? There could
I'm glad I could be of
Maggie, there
service
could
to
be
you,
a
Jay.
third dollar hiding behind one of the dollars.
crumpled up.
Maggie's, there may be a bill in there that's bigger than $1. You should get this money. They shouldn't get it. They better give that money to Horse Rescue. That's all I want to say. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Head over to the Miller Time 4-Star Dave Sports Bar, $40 bankroll, $40 buy-in, 30 bankroll, 10 towards the prize pool. A lot of fun. A lot of people playing, and it's been really good fun. We also have the $1 million bonus. Play the late pick 5 on weekends especially, but every day through Naira Bets, and you'll have a chance. If you are somehow the only winner, you will get $1 million if you're the only winner. We got lots more here. We got the New York Pavilion, Taste New York Pavilion. Gate A, Berkshire Bank Family Zone, Thursdays through Sunday. That is right by Family Fun Day.
Yeah, I drove the girls to Faye's house, and Willow was like, "Oh, Mommy, bouncy castle." I'm like, guess we're going there later.
You don't have a permanent bouncy castle around your house?
No.
What kind of parent are you?
I know, I'm a very
Take some of that
dull
money
mother.
that Jay is over there begging for and get a
I want
bouncy
that
bounce.
bouncy castle.
Berkshire Bank Family Sundays, 11 to 4 every Sunday. And the show, 1 to 6:30. Lots of Maggie and Acacia, the rest of us sprinkled in there as well. 1 to 6:30, FS2. Enjoy it, Maggie. Thanks again. We'll see you next Sunday.
Likewise.
And you, have a great day. Frank Miramati, he's up next. The reprise, Scratches and Changes.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.